Two shareholder suits have been filed against JP Morgan. Talking about the London whale trades here, the big loss. Chad Bray, our court reporter, is with us. He has the details. Chad, tell us what's going on here. What do we know?
Well, right now, these are sort of appear to be the first two lawsuits that have been filed against JP Morgan over its announcement last week of the trading losses, and this has sort of become pretty standard fare. Anytime there's a major company announcement, we see the lawyers come to the courthouse with investor lawsuits.
Right. Now, these two lawsuits, it's interesting because what they're claiming is that JP Morgan misrepresented the risks of these trades that we now know cost about $2.3 billion. What's interesting about that is Jamie Dimon in April said the whole thing was a tempest in a teapot. I mean, he really very publicly downplayed those risks. Is that sort of what these suits hinge upon?
Yeah, that's the general idea. In fact, they quote the tempest in the teapot from the conference call. It's really saying that in that time frame from the first quarter earnings call until now, there was a misrepresentation before they made the announcement last week.
Yeah, now, a suit like this, a suit like these, what exactly will they be looking for in terms of damages? Do we have any idea?
Well, there are two suits. One is a suit seeking to represent a class of investors and get money back for investors who may have lost on trades. The other one is what's called a derivative suit, and that's basically to recover capital for the company. And so they actually are suing the board and Jamie Dimon and some of the top executives.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, yeah, I imagine these were both filed late yesterday afternoon, I believe, right?
Correct.
So we haven't heard from JP Morgan on this, have we?
I spoke to JP Morgan this morning. They've declined comments so far. We'll see if they reach out with something later in the day. Right now, I'm not expecting them to really stick a toe in on this one.
Yeah, and quickly, I know you have to get back in there. Do we have any idea when these trials might see the light of day, and do you expect to see more of these kinds of suits?
Well, I think because what typically happens in these situations, you have a number of lawsuits that get filed. Mm-hmm. They end up becoming consolidated, mm-hmm. and at some point, one investor is going to be picked to be the lead plaintiff for both, for in each case. So it's the kind of situation where it can take months and years to resolve these sorts of things.